Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again, Jeremy Tracy coming at you from Pinnacle Health and Fitness in Elmira, and once again, Bryony Quincy has gone out and found the best that the world has to offer, and it's come right here to our studio for our learning, for our entertainment. This is Dr. Robert Orkowski, who's here to share. What are you going to share?
I'm going to share with you how to be successful in Organo Gold. The 4 steps to success.
The 4 steps to success with Organo Gold. Looking forward to learning. Hope you are too. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you so much.
Take it away.
So I'm going to start with a quote from Einstein, who said that very simply, you can take any intelligent fool, you can make something bigger and more complex, but it takes a real genius and some courage to actually go in the other direction and simplify. So if you talk to the very best of the best in Organo Gold, which has some of the top income earners in the entire world of direct sales, they'll tell you their secret to success are these 4 steps and 4 questions that I'm going to go over with. So 4 steps. Step number 1, they say be a product of the product, but I'll just simply say use the product. They recommend that you try a little bit of everything. So they've got black coffee, they've got latte, they've got mocha, they've got green tea, they've got red tea, they've got black tea, they've got Jamaican Blue Mountain, they've got soap, they've got toothpaste, they've got nutraceuticals. I've actually tried everything. And the one for me that was a massive surprise was hot chocolate. I don't drink hot chocolate, I don't add sugar to anything, but this makes me sleep like a baby. And that would be my testimonial about the hot chocolate. We've got people that shave their head. I might even know a few people here. And a lot of times they get razor bumps and burns, but when they use the Organo Gold soap, no such issue. The toothpaste is fluoride free. You can try all this, and after you try all the products, submit your own testimonial. So I gave you mine about the hot chocolate, now about the black coffee. No jitters, no headaches, no gut ache. Doesn't matter if I drink 12 a day, which I do if I travel across the world. But on top of that, I'm not aware of a single mosquito bite on my body in over 2 years. So if you can imagine having that nuisance from your world gone, that's remarkable, because in Texas, the mosquito is a state bird. They also like to for you to set up on an auto ship. And if we were to talk about the compensation, to be in the big money in this business, you need basically about 7 boxes of product a month, and everybody on your team does. But it doesn't have to be coffee. You can buy $100 worth of coffee, tea, soap, toothpaste, hot chocolate, nutraceuticals, whatever you want. So step 1, be a product of the product, use the product. Step 2, they want you to build a list. And one of the things that they'll consistently tell you is don't let the minimum be your maximum, but they want a list of a total of at least 100 people. Now, statistically, we know that everybody's connected to about 150 people on the average, and some a whole lot more, but they like to call this your working capital. Develop a list of people. They actually suggest that you get 50 coffee drinkers and 50 business builders. It's kind of hard to see who's going to be who while you're doing this, but there may be 50 that you break down. There's a gentleman named Sam Bean who's brilliant. When he built his list, he called everybody up. He says, hey, I got a question for you. It's Sam. Do you drink coffee, yes or no? Whether they answered yes or no, he'd say, great, I'll call you back, and hang up just like that. And he developed some level of curiosity. So he listened to who was drinking the coffee, and he'd call him back. He'd say, hey, I started a gourmet coffee business. I'd like you to be a preferred customer and buy 2 boxes. Do you want black latte or mocha? And they, most of them bought the boxes. And he'd say, cool, you know what, if you like it, I'll teach you how you get it wholesale. If you don't, I promise I'll never ask you to buy anything again. If they were business builders, he would tell them that he's partnered with some millionaires, which he has, and he has something that he'd like to share with them. He didn't like to use the term business meeting or anything like that, but I partnered with some millionaires. I have something I want to share with you. When can we get together? For about 20 minutes. And one of the things that he'd like to say is conversation before presentation leads to failure. So if someone says, well, what's this all about? What you just simply say is, look, if I could explain it in 3 minutes, I would, but it takes 20 to 30 minutes, so when can we sit down? Boom, just like that. Keep it simple. Get off the phone as quick as you can. You want to get at least 10 different retail customers. You do that from that original group. People that buy this coffee, drink this coffee. Most of them are going to continue. Now, the next thing you want to do is schedule as quickly as possible 4 different, they call them CJMs, which stands for Coffee Jazz Mixers. Now they're also calling them barista parties. In the UK they call them coffee clubs. but you want to get people to bring their friends over to their place and then present the opportunity. Now that can be as simple as simply getting a DVD player and a flat screen, or it doesn't even have to be a flat screen, and pushing play. And there are people in this business that have never given a presentation that have built massive businesses, either using the coffee that pays or using somebody else. But the more homes that duplicate this process, the more times the plan is being shown, the more business people you're going to build and draw into the opportunity. There's a quote I'll also share with you, and that is that experts sort, amateurs convince. We're not looking for anybody that doesn't want us. Jeremy had said something earlier that, you know, when you're sharing a product and someone, if you're recommending a movie and someone says, yeah, no thanks, I don't want to go see that, you just walk away, no big deal. But somehow people in network marketing, they take it as a personal assault against them if you say no to their business. Just move on. They're not the right person at the right place at the right time. Check back with them 30, 60, 90 days later and see if anything's changed in their world. So once they schedule these 4 coffee jazz mixers, you want to go in there and help them start their presentation. So maybe the first time they come in and give an introduction. Jeremy gave a great introduction. I think obviously he's a natural presenter. Barney did the same thing. But maybe the first time you come in and they do the introduction and you do the presentation. Next time they come in, do an introduction, and by the way, do 1/4 of the presentation. And over the course of 4, they get to the point where they can run their own meeting. There's a website, it's called First Class MLM, that Tim Sales is an expert trainer in this industry. But he says, you know, it may take some people 100 or 200 presentations to really get it down, so why would you waste that on a live audience with people that are real prospects? He presented to his dog. He presented to the mirror. He filmed himself, and then when he became comfortable, he went ahead and then started actually working on real people. And by the way, you can do that with the invitation process as well. And step 4 is actually, there's Organo Gold University. You log on to Organo Gold University, and you recognize that there's a lot of aids for learning, for resources. They have calls literally every single day. They want an 18-month commitment. They say in 18 months, if you really give it your heart and soul, Mr. Holton Buggs likes to call it his 2020 plan. I actually call it the 20-20-20-20 plan. But he'll tell you that if in the first 6 months, if you can put 20 people on your left and 20 people on your right, you'll be making probably about $20,000 a month at 20 months. What he says is if you bring 20 people in on the left, 6 to 8 of those people are going to quit, 6 to 8 are going to incubate, and the rest will be business builders. He wants those 20 each within the first 6 months. So the first 2 months, you put 6 and 6. What's that?
Can you define incubate?
They'll just sit there and not do much with the business. They'll be using the product and enjoying it. They're just not. They're in, they're active, they're not building.
Okay.
So he says the first 2 months get 6 and 6, the next 2 months get 6 and 6, and then the last 2 months get 8 and 8 because you'll be better at it there. But once you have these people in, 6 to 8 will quit, 6 to 8 will incubate, and the rest will grow. So if you have 4 legs growing on the left, 4 legs growing on the right, you can start developing some massive volume. If those 4 legs want to become sapphires apiece, a sapphire is driving a free Mercedes, 14,000 apiece, that'd be 56,000 on each side, and a team volume of 112,000. Understand that the average distributor in Organo Gold earns between 8 and 12% of the volume. So at 112,000, 10% is a nice cut. If these people want to become rubies, rubies are 40,000 apiece a month. Multiply that by 460,000 on each side, you're a diamond, and that's some real big money. And it can grow that rapidly. When we started growing the business, my wife and I actually went ruby after 2 months of building, and emerald after 4 months of building. And we've seen people, I think our fastest sapphire went sapphire in 3 weeks. So it is possible to build a business this way. And that's really all there is to the 4 steps. Now the 4 questions are very, very simple. Do you personally drink coffee, tea, or hot chocolate, or know anybody that does? And everybody's going to say yes to that question. The next question is it you? How do you drink your coffee? Black, latte, and people will answer. The next question is, where do you normally get your coffee? And they might say Starbucks, that's the most common in the States. then you just simply ask them, has Starbucks ever paid you to either drink their coffee or refer somebody else? Of course, you know their answer is no. You pull off a black coffee and you just simply say, well, this is the coffee that pays. I'd like to give you a couple of samples and follow up with you and find out, number one, how to taste, and number two, how to make you feel. Now, what we do is there's those simple little mailing labels, like Avery is the company in the States that has it. My wife puts our name, our website, our phone number, and then it says mix with, 4 to 8 ounces of boiling hot water. That's all there is to it. And so they have a way of contacting us for more afterwards. But when we give the coffee, we actually do capture their information. So I really like Eric Worre. His book is called Go Pro. And he said his magic phrase is, if I, would you? And he likes to follow it up with 3 different things. So, if I gave you a sachet of gourmet coffee, would you drink it and allow me to follow up with you? If they say no, well, guess what? They're not getting it. But if they say yes, cool. What's the best number outside of home or work that I could contact you? What does that mean? That's your cell phone, right? So they give the cell phone, and then you say, you'll type it in right then and there. Okay, I want to text you right now, make sure I've got the right number. Boom. My kids don't like this, but I actually take pictures of the people. They think it's almost like a stalker to take pictures, but I remember faces better than names, so I'll use my iPhone, I'll take the picture and I'll put it in their contact. And then I'll say, when would you drink this by? Well, they say, I drink my coffee in the morning. Would it be okay if I contacted you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? And then they generally say, yeah, sure, or they might say 11's better or noon or whatever, and I'll text them right back, okay, this is Bob Rukowski. I will connect with you at 10 o'clock in the morning to see how you enjoy the coffee. Boom. I put it in my phone as an alarm, and I will call them right at 10 o'clock on the button. Good morning, it's Bob Rukowski calling as promised. What'd you like most about the delicious coffee? Boom. And then we just share some information. Now, if they like it, cool. We wanted to either convert them to a customer. That's usually what I'll attempt to do first. Listen, I'd like to get you a box for it. You can take our coffee challenge. Most people that drink this for a week realize an amazing health benefit. By the way, I have an 11-minute health video about the product that I'd like to send to you. If I sent you that video, would you watch it? Cool. When would you watch it by? Then when you call, you follow up, same thing. Hey, it's Bob. What'd you like most about the video? Oh my gosh, I never even heard of the Anaderma. I can't believe all the things that it does. I'm so excited, and I got to tell you, now that I've been drinking the coffee for a couple days, you know what? I do notice that my digestion is better. I do notice that I'm sleeping better. Is it possible that I already have more energy? Yeah, all of the above. Then eventually you can transition them, if they have a need, to a business opportunity. So I'm going to transition slightly into Tim Sales with First Class MLM, because I think he does as good a job as anybody in the industry of training. But he says there's only 3 skills. Eric Worre says that there are 7 skills, but Tim Sales says there are 3 skills. Number 1 is inviting, and I'll leave a space below that. Number 2 is presenting. And then number 3 is training. So his invite is pretty simple. Number 1, you greet the customer. Number 2, you invite. I'm sorry, number 2, you qualify. Number 3, you invite. And then number 4, you follow up. So the greeting is just that, it's a greeting. You greet somebody, you say hi, you have a big smile on your face, you strike up a conversation. Ladies can relate to this better than men, but if someone greets a lady, especially if a man greets a lady and is trying to hit on her, they automatically put up a wall. If a salesman comes up to you, you automatically put up a wall, but if you genuinely greet somebody, they're open to you. Then after you talk to them, you'll often form them, ask them about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their motivation. You want to find out if they have a need, a want, or a don't want. And then ultimately, they may ask you about what you do, but when you're qualifying, you find out what those needs, wants, or don't wants are. If they have a need, a want, or a don't want, then you invite them and say, you know what, I partnered with some amazing business people, some of them are multi-millionaires, and I think there's something that might be of interest to you. Could I interest you in coming over on Tuesday night for about 30 minutes? Well, what's it about? Well, if I could explain it in 3 minutes, I would. but we've got some really sharp people that can share an amazing message with you, and we'll give you some good coffee and everything else. Don't say too much in the invite, and then the follow-up is just that simple. Tuesday at noon, text them and say, hey, our meeting is at 7 o'clock tonight, our opportunity is at 7 o'clock tonight. I just want to confirm that you're going to be there. Actually, I don't like to use the word meeting, scratch that. Our coffee tasting party, our barista party, is at 7 o'clock. And then once you get there. Now the presentation, what you want to simply do is tailor the presentation to the people in the audience. He says very simply, most people are at a starting point, like that you are here, and then there's a point where they want to be. And most people want more out of life. And what Tim Sales suggests is the only thing in there is to show them that your opportunity is a bridge from where they are to where they want to be. He uses the term, you want to be more interested in them than you are interesting. Some people just want to hear themselves talk, some people want to share all this amazing data, but what you want to do is customize it to the people in the group and meet their very specific needs. So if someone says, gosh, I just want to have $500 more a month so I can make ends meet. Well, tailor to how they can get that. Someone else says, I want to take fancy vacations. Tailor to how that can happen. And let them know that this is a vehicle for them to get wherever they want to be, but more or less have a conversation with them rather than talking at them. When it comes down to the training, that would go back into Organo Gold University. They have literally calls every single day where they have millionaires going in and sharing the coffee opportunity. They have launch calls where they can help you launch your business. They certainly have a number of videos. If you go to YouTube, you'll see an absolute ton of them. And then one of my favorites is Sunday night, the Millionaire Mentorship Call. Every single week they have a legitimate coffee millionaire talking for an hour about different strategies, how to build a business. So one of the catchphrases for the company, or the catchphrase, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. Don't complicate it. We welcome you to join our team. We're going to grow a big business. We're going to help a lot of people. We're going to make a lot of money. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So thanks for sharing this time with me.
Good. What's this?
That's 1%. So you'll see a lot of people in Organo Gold holding up one finger. And their corporate goal is to get 1% of the coffee market. So if you look at 1% of North America, the coffee market is so big, 1% of North America alone would be a $1.5 billion a year company. That's 1% of North America. They're in 37 countries. They'll be in 70 countries in the next 2 years. So the coffee market is beyond.
So it's massive. It's practically 100 billion, 150 billion.
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's the second traded commodity.
Second only to oil, and oil is shrinking.
Yeah.
So when I tell people I was in Europe, I went to Sweden 2 years ago. I was lecturing sports nutrition. And in downtown Stockholm, if you drive a fuel-burning car, they charge $150 a month to park. If you drive anything electric and they have electric charging stations, parking is free. They're incentivizing the entire nation to go clean.
Yeah.
So the Tesla, as soon as they get the batteries right, look out.
Yeah.
That's going to take off.
Yeah.
And the Prius is one of the top-selling cars because people don't want to dump all this money into their gas tank.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time before oil is displaced by coffee.
They've been fighting for years.
Yeah. Coffee's been in use, human use, I think it's for 1,400 years at this point.
Yeah.
And growing every year. So it's not going anywhere.